This video might piss some people off, but I want to talk about how it's not your metabolism that's holding you back, that's keeping you overweight. It's your approach. And the reason I'm calling you out, if you're someone who does believe this, then it's because I've done it myself. I used to literally blame my own metabolism, and I would be like, oh, I'm not like these other guys who are skinny and they can just eat whatever they want and all these things, right? I was like, oh, like I had friends who were naturally only skinny, and I would see them eat these foods like junk food, and I thought, what? Like, oh, they just have this crazy metabolism that they're allowed to eat whatever they want. What I didn't realize is that it really comes down to the fact that these guys, even though you see them eating a lot of food, most of the time it's just that one meal, and then they don't eat a lot, because the truth is it comes down to calories. And so if they're eating a certain amount of calories, you might think that they eat like that all the time, but a lot of times, especially because it's like a junk food, you think, oh, that means that they can't gain weight and stuff like that. But in reality, they're literally just not eating a lot, or they're super active, or a mixture of both, where they get a lot of activity in, a lot of movement, steps, things like that, and they eat like maybe one big meal a day. But the truth is that on average, they're not eating a bunch of calories, or else they would be overweight. That's just how it works. And so I thought that my metabolism was just shot, broken, all these things. I was gonna stay at my body type forever. But the truth is that I was just overeating calories. And so once I started to incorporate steps into my routine, daily walking, once I started to make sure that my calories were lower, and then a calorie deficit, and I've always lifted weights, but if you're not someone who's lifted weights, then you want to make sure you're lifting, you want to make sure you're walking, and you're going to watch your calories, and of course you want to increase your protein. And so when you do all these things, guess what happens? Now you get down to your goal weight, and you're going to have people saying, oh, it's just your metabolism, blah blah blah. And so the truth about the guys who are naturally skinny is that they just don't eat that much. Like, they literally, like, they have to remember, oh shit, I have to eat today. And I literally have friends like that. Like, they won't eat all day, and they're like, oh yeah, I forgot I have to eat. And then they'll have like a bag of hot Cheetos, and you're like, what? How are they not gain weight? But it's like, healthy and junk food, that has nothing to do with weight loss. Now obviously, if you're eating something like crumble cookie that's like 900 calories, no protein, then you're gonna hit your limit on your deficit super quick, because then just add a couple more meals to that and you're already way over your calorie limit. And so that's true about some junk food, but there's also junk food that is actually lower calories than some healthy foods. Like, if you were to have, let's say, like a Chips Ahoy, like a bag of Chips Ahoy, like the little small bags, you could have 2 of those bags for 300 calories over a 900 calorie salad, or a Nature Valley bar that's 200 calories, no protein. Like, it's basically a wash with those two. And so there's even some foods like McDonald's double quarter pounder. I would rather eat a McDonald's double quarter pounder over a salad, because one has similar calories, but one has way more protein. And so that's your thing, is with weight loss, you need to hit your numbers. It's not about healthy, unhealthy. And I think people get too caught up in that. And so if you're someone who used to blame your metabolism, you're still watching this, then clearly, you stayed because you want to know, is it possible? Is it true that it's not just my metabolism? And I wish someone would have told me this a long time ago, because it really is not your metabolism. Look into it. Honestly, just search it up. I started research and I realized, holy, it's not that it varies. Like, they act like as if you're a skinny person, that your metabolism is just 20 times better than someone who's overweight. And most of the time, that's not at all the case. It's very similar metabolism. The problem is that they don't eat. They I'm someone who loves to eat. I've never been like, oh, I forgot to eat a meal, right? And a lot of people are like that. But the people who don't eat as much, they get activity in, obviously they're going to be at a smaller body fat, and they're going to be leaner, right? And so I hope this video sheds light on people who think that it's their metabolism that's holding them back, and in reality, it's just your approach.